This is rolling. Hi, my name is Owen Devney, and we're just testing levels here, and it's so great to see Caleigh Stewart. Caleigh Stewart, how are you?
Oh, so good. This is a great show. I can't believe I'm here.
I can't believe you're here either. Wow, this is really, really great.
So good. I'm very excited to be a part of this.
I'm so glad you're excited to be a part of this. I'm also excited to be a part of this, and the fact that this microphone is working is something that is tremendous and amazing, and we're going to hand it on over to Caleigh in one moment.
I'm Caleigh Le Grand. I'm going to be your host for the red carpet, and I'm just very eager to bring up the showrunner, the festival founder, the director, Stefan Kuchar. Come on up. Hello.
Oh, nice to see you again.
It's so lovely to see you too. 10 years. I am so excited to be here for, I don't even know how many years I've had the privilege of being part of this, but how are you feeling to start off?
I'm always nervous, but it's a good nervous. To hit a milestone of 1 decade is pretty huge. And I'm super excited to show the lineup this year.
Yes, the lineup. Okay, first off, before we get to the lineup, the actual festival organization, how long have you been putting this together? Is this as soon as you finished last year, you started prepping for this year?
Kind of. Yeah, every year I learn something new. So from year 1 to year 10, I'm certainly running a much smoother, more organized festival. So I'm always taking little notes of what can I do better, what can I do better. And then it's just a matter of collecting those submissions, finding a lineup that I think flows and works, and presenting it to you tonight.
Now, this is something that has such a homegrown feel, particularly because you have been building this on your own back from day one. Can you give those who maybe don't know what the Sudden Impulse Film Festival is, why it started, a little bit of background about how it came to be?
Of course. So when I started 11 years ago, actually, it was I had a film that didn't get programmed, and I decided to throw my own festival and show my own film. So that was the birth of it, and it's just kind of being a way to showcase local filmmakers in Ontario, specifically comedies. I'm a huge comedy fan. I'm also a big horror fan. So those are the two genres I focus on the most. And it's just about giving our local filmmakers of Ontario a platform to show their work. And it's like, this is what the people of Ontario are doing, as well as featuring live music from Ontario musicians.
And when you say short film, what is the typical length that you're receiving, and do you have any limits on the actual length for films that are being submitted?
I do have limits, but I'm a pushover, so I broke it with 2 films. But the average length is 5 minutes. The shortest film this year is 14 seconds, and the longest film is 19 minutes.
Okay, 14 seconds is definitely something that I think I have a new benchmark that I'm going to try to hit with my films. But speaking of films, you happen to have any in this festival this year?
I do, which is great. I don't always, but I have 2 films that I'm super proud of this year. I've got a short film, Helen and Henry, and I have a music video that I directed called Stuntman, and I would love to bring out the cast and crew of those films.
Let's bring them onto the red carpet so we can ask them some questions as well.
Oh, me first. Hi, I'm Martin Huss. Hello again, Caleigh Le Grand. So I played kind of like a doctor, and I also was crew on this one.
My name's Nora Santos. I was the clipboard holder.
Important job.
I helped produce and direct both of them.
I'm Courtney O'Connor. I was the producer and director of photography.
Ooh.
I'm Riley O'Connor. I wrote the song Stuntman, and I am Stuntman in the video.
I'm Devin Gastiger. I played Lestat, and I was executive producer.
How long was the film that you worked on?
This is a music video about 4 minutes long.
And was the score written first, or was the movie built around music afterwards?
I wrote the song first, so I stepped out for the first time as a solo artist this year. And I wanted to write a rockin' tune, and Courtney, who is standing to your right here, she took a liking to the song, thought it had some potential, and got Stefan on board, and here we have this amazing production. So I'm really proud of how it all turned out.
That's incredible. What was the hardest part about clapping? Did you find that it was actually easy, or were you nervous on?
A clipboard, not slate. She was actually acting in it.
Oh, okay. Tell me what the most challenging part was then with that role.
The waiting around.
Did you have a nice trailer and good craft to wait around with?
Of course.
There you go. Well, then the life of a princess, I suppose.
Yes.
Martin, how about you? What was it like being on set, and what would you say is the most challenging part of the role for you?
The most challenging part for me, I wasn't the one that was doing the stunts, I guess. I just had to watch it all happen. No, I'm kidding. No, it was all fun. Like it was such an amazing cast and crew. Courtney is obviously awesome, so is Stefan. You know, and I really appreciate them bringing me on to this. So thank you so much.
Of course.
And Courtney, one last question for you. The vision that you had for it. First off, how long did it take from pen to paper initially until the very end when you had a final cut and you had that final movie? And secondly, tell me a little bit about how that vision may have changed or may not have changed over the involvement of it.
Probably took like a couple months to write the script and work with Stefan on actually making a script that we could make and getting all our things together. And it's definitely the most ambitious project that we've done so far. And Riley was fantastic. He did all the stunts himself.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Did you hurt yourself?
I didn't. I did have a sizable crash pad. I don't want to spoil anything though. So.
No spoilers. No one was hurt in the process, hopefully. Perfect. I'm very glad to see you back. I see a lot of familiar faces back on the carpet again. It's very exciting. It's not cold. Toronto's not cold. We don't live in Canada. What is this? Come on, September. Hello, welcome back. This is the 10th annual Sudden Impulse Film Festival. I'm Caleigh Le Grand, and I am so pleased to bring up onto the red carpet next the musicians who are going to be bringing live music to tonight's film festival, Paul Kafka Band. Come on up, fellas. We'll have two on my left, two on my right, please. Thank you very much, and I take it you are Paul.
I am, yes.
Lovely to meet you. I'm going to go down the row so that I can also grab, I know that I see some familiar faces, but if we can have everybody squeeze in as if you love to be here with me. I just want to grab everybody's name as an introduction.
Sevi Sherman.
Paul Kafka.
Ethan Tilbury.
Riley O'Connor.
Now, Riley, I've seen you on the carpet already. You are doing music in multiple different, let's say, styles. You're bringing it to live music for the film festival. You have music in a film. Are you nervous to perform live tonight?
I'm actually not too nervous. I think by now we're a well-oiled machine. You know, Paul really cracks the whip. He's got us rehearsing hard, and we're playing festivals all over Ontario this summer. So yeah, it's been good.
Very cool. Paul, what kind of music does your band perform, and what instruments are you all using tonight?
Well, that's a great question. I kind of am an old soul, so I like the music that stems from this 1950s sound. So I call it indie rockabilly because it's not pure rockabilly, but it's got that vibe. And as far as the instrumentation, we have Riley on drums. Ethan plays bull bass, which is an upright contrabass or whatever you call it, and then Zevi plays pedal steel guitar, and I just strum a 6-string, regular stuff.
Just strum a 6-string. That's the classic stuff right there. Very cool. Are there any other instruments that you typically play, or is this the lineup of instruments for all of the music that you perform?
It works. Yeah, that lineup works. I mean, on some of the recordings we bring in other instruments, but usually when we perform live, that mix seems to kind of convey the style and the message that we're trying to convey.
Very cool. And it was Ethan? Ethan, is this the first time that you're performing live at the Sudden Impulse Film Festival?
Oh, yeah, it is.
Are you
excited?
You're excited. Are you at all nervous?
Oh, absolutely not.
Not at all. Well, I'm the only one that's nervous tonight.
Actually, I'm the one always nervous before the show, but once I get on stage, it goes away.
You're surrounded by a team that is not nervous. They've got your back. It's very warming. I love the energy that everybody has. Can you tell me a little bit about when you joined the band?
I've been playing with Paul for about 3 years now. Met Paul on a gig randomly, and he called me to be his normal bass player, so here I am.
Very cool. And how about you? How long have you been with the band?
A couple months now. I think I'm the new guy in the band still. So Paul just found me on Instagram, I think, and he said, "You want to come play?" And it worked out.
Well, remember a couple years ago you actually played all the guitars on one of my recordings, which so that's how we met. But it was in lockdown, so it was all done remotely. And then I needed a pedal steel, and I knew immediately who to call because I enjoyed the music that Sevi makes.
That is pretty incredible. We're living in a world that is quite virtual these days. So maybe that's also where my nerves are coming from. The fact that we get to be visceral and in person is beautiful and overwhelming at the same time. But to be a part of a band or to join a band I guess we're technically on the tail end of the pandalama, but to be a part of a band during the pandemic and to join a part of a band during the pandemic, what has that done to music for you, either in terms of rehearsal or even just the fact that you acquired another member?
That's a good question. I think it's a little bit of reinventing how you sound, but also it's a little bit of changing everything to sound a little more comforting, because even in the beginning of the pandemic, the Canadian Music Association did a poll of people, and a lot of people said that, I think it was about 40%, something like that, said we will never ever show up at a live show. It was like May 2020, and I understand everybody had anxiety, and there was a lot of uncertainty about where this is going. But for us, it meant that we have to look approachable. We have to play, reassuring and comforting music, so that when people go out and see us, they realize that, oh, it's okay, we can go back to normal. I think it's kind of part of the older musicians' mandate in this post-pandemic situation.
That is incredibly fascinating. And I can only imagine how that must affect a musician. I remember even recently reading something about, I believe it was interior design, and the colors that we are now looking for that have to be more subdued because we've been living in such high anxiety kind of states over the past couple of years. Last question. You play an electric guitar, correct?
Pedal steel guitar, yeah.
A pedal steel guitar. Does that have, and because to me, that signifies more power than just a six string. Does that make you feel nervous at all with having that much more power and being aware of the kind of energy that the world has when you're trying to be a little bit more subdued or calmer with your music?
Well, Paul encourages me to play loud, and I like to play loud, so I don't think it's a problem. It's the world's loud, so it's okay to have a little bit of loud music now and then.
There we go. There's a little bit of balance all over the place. We're going to play effing loud tonight. Thank you so much for joining me on the red carpet. Enjoy the show tonight up there while you're playing for everybody, and then enjoy the movies afterwards. The beautiful thing about being at the Sudden Impulse Film Festival is that things happen suddenly, and we work off of impulse. This is the way that the festival was grown. So if you wouldn't mind starting off reiterating what your name was and your role and the name of the project.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Kia Kortelainen. I worked on the animated film Scraps, and I'm the director, animator, and creator, builder of the entire puppets and sets.
Puppets and sets. Okay, so how much of it was animated the way that we traditionally understand, let's say, Disney, Pixar, things that are animated either by drawings or that are going through rendering programs, and what did you do with puppets for this?
Yeah, so it's a stop motion animated film. So if you've ever seen Night Before Christmas, any sort of the Leica films, Kubo, Two Strings. So the main sets, the actors, as you would call them, are actually puppeted things, like dolls, essentially. And then the actual backgrounds were done in CGI with Unreal Engine. So I don't know if you think of Pixar, the animated elements, the backgrounds. Yeah.
So the puppets, the actors, their characters, were those shot against green screen, and then you built the back? Okay.
Exactly, yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about what the process is like in terms of how long it takes, as opposed comparing, let's say, to a live action, put actual physical people in front of cameras and they call action and cut? Is it a longer process? Is it a slower process? Do you have headaches and pull your hair out?
Yeah, animation is definitely a masochistic practice. That's what we say in the business. Yeah, because you yourself are the actor and the director and the builder, so you're doing everything from ground floor. And it's frame by frame, right? And so in stop motion, you have a puppet, you move it one frame, and take a picture, and then you do it again, and then again, and again. So again, it's kind of the fine line between insanity and creativity, right? It's that like, are you a crazy person who plays with dolls, or are you a creative, or like you making an artist like a thing, right? So yeah, it's definitely a labor of love, but I mean, once you see something come to life that you made, it's, I don't know, it's magic. So.
Is this the only type of filmmaking that you're into? Did you start in a different area or genre, or is this your forte that you just kind of stumbled into? How did you become an animator with puppets?
Yeah. So I did a degree in fine art there. I was doing like sculpture. I did a bit of taxidermy. So I think the whole fascination of bringing like something that's dead alive has always been something I've loved. And then stop motion was just an extension of that. So I got to use the creative skills of building things, but then also bring it to life in sort of an undead way.
I love the undead reference. You know what? Full disclosure, putting it out there for everyone. I had a car accident last week, and these are now also resonating with me on such a deep level that I'm beyond fascinated. I'm excited to see the project that you made. That is incredible. Thank you for just shoving yourself in and taking the red carpet next. Sydney and Anna are here with me, Caleigh Le Grand, for the 10th annual Sudden Impulse Film Festival. Welcome back to the 10th annual Sudden Impulse Film Festival. I'm Caleigh Le Grand, and I have a sketch troupe about to join me on the red carpet. Sydney and Anna have a sketch troupe called Word to Your Mother, but tonight they have 2 films in the Sudden Impulse Film Festival. One is called Tea, the other is called Hot Sauce is Life. How about I bring up the sketch troupe, which are appropriately dressed so that they can stand on either side of me and we can create an 80s style sandwich happening. Hello, Sydney.
Hello. Thank you for having us.
You're both looking beautiful. Hello, Anna.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too. You have 2 films in tonight's festival. Let's start with Hot Sauce is Life, because I have many friends, obviously a new one who just drove by, who know hot sauce is life. Why don't we start off with the premise and why you've called it that?
Well, I mean, I think the title speaks for itself. Hot sauce is life. It comes from our love of hot sauce, and but you know, when you're you always have a friend that isn't as much into hot sauce, so it's about the duality of that friendship, and one person loving hot sauce and one person maybe not loving hot sauce.
I'm already sensing that there might be some tension or conflict that has arisen over hot sauce in this film.
Yes, 100% yes, because hot sauce is life, okay? And everyone needs to have hot sauce in everything. There was a point where I was having hot sauce in my cereal. And I'm not even joking. It was bad. It was bad.
That does say something about how life is going. And I think that this is an appropriate lineup because I have a feeling I've got the hot sauce is life lover on my left, and the hot sauce is maybe sometimes scary or not something you put in your cereal on my right.
I converted. I have hot sauce. I'm a hot sauce queen now. I love it. It took many years, but I love it.
Well, then I'm assuming maybe this film will be the final conversion for me because I'm the one who always thinks that she can handle the heat and then orders the mild wings and has to run to the bathroom and scrape her tongue with paper towel because she's now desperately in need of any kind of ramification for it. Why don't we talk a little bit about tea, because that's something that I know that I can handle. What do we do? What do we talk about with tea? Is this the same sort of length? Is it the same sort of idea? Is there a connection between your 2 films?
Yeah, so all of our sketches are usually a minute long, and so this one is a similar kind of style where we explore what happens when you maybe like tea a little bit too much, and I guess what comes of it.
Ramifications of love. The ramifications of loving tea too much.
So I'm sensing that there's a pattern with food here. I'm assuming I'm also going to be hungry by the end of the evening and or on fire in my mouth. It was beautiful to see the 2 of you again. Have an incredible time in there, and I will see you on the other side. Hello and welcome back to the 10th annual Sudden Impulse Film Festival. I'm Caleigh Le Grand, and I'm tripping over my own name because I'm trying to remember how to pronounce Christian Trebuzio, which I think I nailed. Messed up my own name. But Christian, why don't you come up on the carpet and tell me a little bit about Once Upon a Time in a Slice in the West of a Slice in it.
Once acceptable. The title is Once Upon a Slice in the West, a very obvious ripoff of Once Upon a Time in the West. So perfectly understandable. She got my name right, which is more impressive than the title, honestly.
My mother's already shaming me for not remembering my own name, so.
I didn't do my vocal exercises either. I'm totally thrown off guard here. It's crazy. It's been a crazy night. I can't believe Brad Pitt was able to make it. So way to go, guys. For 10 years, getting Brad Pitt to show up. I know he was just in Japan, I think, for Bullet Train.
Yeah, with Aubrey Plaza.
Right. Now they're here. It's crazy. So you guys are killing it. Way to go. I'm impressed.
And does that have anything to do with the 45 seconds that you put into the screen time tonight?
Now look, I would love to address the runtime of the film. We have made hours worth of footage. It's there if you want to see it. But we're trying to reach a wide audience, so you're getting 45 seconds.
Was this initially supposed to be a feature film? How did this come about?
Yeah, great question. Honestly, it came out of the fact that we've done feature-length projects. We've done micro short projects, like a 13-second short film called Deadlift. That's played a few festivals. We're trying to offer people commercial-length film as opposed to commercial-length TikTok videos.
Now, you said we. What was your role? Did you write it? Did you direct it? Were you in it? Did you wear all the hats?
I suppose I did wear a few hats, yeah. My buddy Kyle and I, we've been making movies literally since high school. We co-directed it, co-wrote it, co-starred in it, although Kyle's face doesn't appear in the film, but he's in there. Yeah, we sort of shared the vision on this one.
Are you able to give us a little sneak peek? I know that it's only 45 seconds, so I don't want to give anything away, but if you had to give an elevator pitch, what would you say your film is about?
Oh, it's, Reservoir Dogs meets every pizza party that's ever,
You said pizza, and that got my bells a-ringing. I now remember my own name. My name's Caleigh Le Grand, and we are at the Sudden Impulse Film Festival. I hope you, Christian Trabuzio, have a beautiful time inside. Thank you for joining me on the red carpet.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for your time. Have a great night, everyone.
Right now, joining me on the carpet is David Creighton. Come on up to talk about Eureka. Hello, welcome to the carpet.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And I'm going to have you move on to the other side of me just so that we can have you in the shot, squeeze in tight like you like being here with me. Now, if you wouldn't mind also introducing yourself.
Jennifer, I'm his wife.
Jennifer, lovely to have you here as well. Do you have a part in making the film? Are you here for supporting tonight?
I'm here for moral support.
Lovely, perfect. Now, David, when I think of Eureka, I think of obviously a philosopher or an inventor whose name is escaping me, but you leaped out of the bathtub and discovered buoyancy. Is this what this film is about?
Not really, although it is about a revelation. Basically, this is the story of a conspiracy theorist who gets it right.
I see. A conspiracy theorist who gets it right. Now, that's something that is leaning towards one end of the spectrum, far-reaching stories, but unlikely and ends up being true. Is it also something that might be detrimental to the world?
Oh, probably. And this, by the way, is the 14-second film.
Get out. Okay. I have too many questions that I will not be able to get through with you in the next couple of seconds, but did it start as a 14-second ideation, or did you cut it down to that?
There is a festival called the 7-Second Film Festival, and not counting credits, this film was made for that festival. 7 seconds of actual action. I was telling my old housemate about it, and she said it's impossible to tell a story in 7 seconds, and I said, here's one, bang, 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 and I had a little extra Kickstarter money left over from my previous film, and I made it.
Oh boy, this sounds like, especially because it's something that could potentially change the world, it sounds like you've been able to jam-pack a lot into the 14 seconds. How long did it actually take from beginning of actually writing to page to the final edit?
Only about 3 months. My stop-motion animator, whose name is Venkat Selvaraj, was amazing. Absolutely, completely amazing. The stop motion in this film just blows me away.
This is incredible. So there you hear it. 3 months going into what was originally a 7-second film, ending up on our screen tonight as 14 seconds. What an accomplishment. Thank you so much, David, for being here. It's lovely to see that you have support with you, too. Enjoy yourselves in the festival and watching your own work up on the screen tonight.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And up next with us, we have Heather and Her Feathers is the name of your film. Come on up. Now, did I pronounce your name right?
My name's Megan.
I got it wrong, and I knew I was getting it wrong because I was saying feathers in my head and Heather came out. My apologies. Megan Sanders, correct?
Yes, it's all good.
Thank you for joining me. Thank you for placating me. Can you tell me a little bit about Feathers, your film?
Well, it's a stop motion film, and it's basically about how you find happiness even when the world just doesn't want you to.
When the world does not want you to. That's a beautiful message, and it's something I think that is probably much needed over the past couple of years. Now, did this idea come to you over the past couple of years, or is this something that you've been working on for some time? Can you tell me a little bit about the actual process that you took?
Yeah, mostly it was inspired by the pandemic, and yeah, just being stuck at home, and I was sort of waiting for things to get better, but then I realized I should just try and create my own happiness and yeah, just do something about it instead of just sulking.
That is a very good outlook, a good perspective to have, particularly when you're an artistic person. I think that sometimes you have to make your own opportunities. Now, you said stop motion for your film. Is this something that you have always done and decided to finally put to the screen, or is it something that you decided to take up when you wanted to create your own happiness?
Well, it's a bit of both because I've been, since like the age of 7, I've been doing stop motion with Lego and stuff. But this is the first like serious stop motion, and yeah, it was my way out of just being stuck with the pandemic.
That's incredible. Now, one last question, because you're the only one on the carpet with me for this film. Did you do it all?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
That's pretty incredible. Did you also have any, like, was your voice in it, or is it a silent film?
It's a silent film, but it has music, but I also composed that too. Yeah, but my voice isn't in it or anything, so yeah.
Incredible. There you have it, multi-talented Megan Sanders, who has created a film called Feathers, and you can see it tonight at the Review Cinema on Roncesvalles in Toronto. Thank you so much for joining me, and have fun at the festival.
Thank you.
And we have Carleigh Morse coming up next with The Scritching Hour. Carleigh, why don't you come up and join me on the red carpet?
Thank you for having me. Wow.
Thank you for joining. First off, I love your lipstick color, and I love your blazer. Mustard, and it's like a salmon orange. It's like, okay, I had to geek out on that. Beautiful.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, so my first question, what is scritching?
What is scritching? Okay, so to me, scritching is the act of like a belly rub, or the way that you pet a dog, like that kind of thing. A dog, a cat, any kind of animal. Yeah. So the
I'm trying to wrap my head around this.
The title "Scritching Hour" is kind of a play on the witching hour, and yes, it's a horror film that stars my dog. Yeah.
I've owned enough dogs to know the horror. But I mean, when you talk about scritching being something that is belly rubbing and something that feels very warm. How does that turn into, I don't want you to give anything away, but how much of a leap are we taking to jump into the horror?
I mean, right off the bat, it starts off as horror. It will read as horror. And again, I don't want to give away too much because there's a bit of a twist in the end, and
Your dog would be quite upset if you ruined the performance. What is your dog's name?
His name is Pilot.
Pilot, that's adorable. Just a quick story. My father, who is a pilot, when I got my first dog, he wouldn't let me name him because I wanted to name him Bo, and that was my father's nickname back in like RMC days, I think. So
you didn't want the dog named after him?
He didn't want the dog named after him, but now meeting somebody whose dog's name is Pilot, I feel like that part's taken care of, and I feel satisfied. What was it like, last question, what was it like working with your dog?
He was very professional. There's no like conflict of interest in being my dog. He ate a lot of cheese to get him to do the stuff in the film, all the tricks that he does. He didn't poo for days. Like it was worrisome. It was
I think we understand the horror of the film now. It was beautiful to meet you. I am excited for your dog as well. And again, real snazzy outfit, enjoying it. I hope you enjoy the festival.
Thank you very much.
On the red carpet, joining me now is Lee Xiaolong with her film Bachelorette. Lee, why don't you hop on up beside me here? Hi.
Hi.
Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. Can you tell me a little bit about Bachelorette?
It's a short film I made. It's a comedy because it was a pandemic. I got married during the pandemic and never had my own bachelorette, so I want to mix things up. So I wrote this story, I acted in it, I directed. Yeah.
That is incredible. So you wrote it, you acted in it, you directed it, and it was a fulfilling part of the marriage process that you got to take care of and satisfy, since you didn't get it due to the pandemic coming to town, which I'm sorry that happened. How did it measure up? Was it better than having a traditional bachelorette that everybody else has had because you got to do it differently?
If you see the film tonight, you will realize it's very different and things are unexpected. But it was so much fun filming it. I get to connect with my friends and filmmakers and actor friends. It was lots of fun. But I wish I actually had my own bachelorette. But it's too late for me. I have a baby and we are married for 2 years, so it's not gonna happen.
Never too late. I feel like do it whenever you want, but I also think that you have one up on everybody who just had a regular old bachelorette because you made a film out of it, and that's pretty incredible. Now, you said that you did also get to connect with your friends on it. Were these the friends that would have been part of your bachelorette if you had a bachelorette in the traditional sense?
The majority of the cast are guys, so I didn't think so. There's only one girl in my film, so yeah, no, but
I'm sensing a little bit of an idea as to why it became a comedy for you. Well, I'm happy that you got to make something out of it. A lot of the filmmakers tonight seem to have made films because the pandemic came to town, and then they took the energy out of that self-pity mode that we were kind of all in and then went and made something. So that's already very impressive, and I'm glad that you did something about a specific thing that you felt like you didn't get, and then you made something better, in my opinion. Congratulations. I hope you have a beautiful time seeing your work up on the screen tonight.
Thank you so much.
We are at the 10th annual Sudden Impulse Film Festival. I have joining me on the red carpet somebody that we have seen in previous years, and I have been pronouncing his last name Herzog when it is Herzog, and he is too kind to have told me how to say it. He was too kind, and I'm bringing him back up so I can have an official apology and introduce 2 films that he has in the festival tonight. Mr. Brian Herzog, would you mind joining me, if you will, still join me on the red carpet? It is so lovely to see you again.
The pleasure is mine.
Well, first off, this is an official apology to everyone watching out there that I've been saying Herzog. I'm putting I have some sort of staccato in the middle of your name, and it's not Herzog, it's Herzog.
That is correct, but there are plenty of Herzogs out there, and I'm not offended if that's what you say. It never even crossed my mind, so as long as you see my work and you like it, that's all that matters to me, right?
Too kind of a person. I'm going to be the bulldog and tell you that you have to pronounce his name Herzog now. So, you have 2 films tonight.
Yes.
First off, tell me what the length of each of them is, because there seems to be a varying length of all of the films tonight.
I think, if I am correct, the first one is After the Pandemic, and it's a 10 minutes, I think, short about trying to get back to reality after the pandemic, emotionally, on an emotional level. But it's pretty wacky, and there's all sorts of fun stuff thrown in there. And then the second video is called Ghosted. It's a comedy music video about getting ghosted and ghosting people. So.
And how long is that one?
Maybe 3.5 minutes, just to tell the story right.
Takes 3.5 minutes to ghost somebody or to feel ghosted. That's a lot of airtime for being in the I've seen some films that were 14 seconds, that were initially 7 seconds. You have basically taken up 13, 14 minutes of tonight's festival. First off, congrats to you. How does it feel to be back and to be taking over the festival?
It always feels really great to be here. I really genuinely appreciate all the support from Stefan and just the festival, and love chatting with you out here. It's always an exciting event to be here to do this. And I am fortunate to get some good screen time, and I'm excited now, but I'll be nervous and shaking in my seat when the videos play, because I'm very precious of my work, and I care a lot. So if people like it, I'll be happy. If they don't, I'll be like, oh, geez.
So we'll maybe get to see that heartbreak that you put so much into the first film that you're talking about after the pandemic?
Oh, totally. Yes.
I doubt it. I think everyone's going to love it. You have such an endearing personality, and I've seen some of your work in the past, which is so creative. I'm happy that you're back tonight at the 10th annual Sudden Impulse Film Festival. This is nuts. 10 years. I feel like I've known you maybe longer than that, and I've been pronouncing your name wrong the whole time. So there you go, folks. Pronounce it Herzog, and it's Brian, and he has 2 films tonight. Thank you so much for joining me on the red carpet again.
Thank you so much, and on with the show.
On with the show, all. Enjoy. Right now, joining me on the red carpet, I have Rush Kazi and Peter Hatch. Their film tonight is called Sneeze of Death. I am very curious as to how a sneeze leads to death, so how about the 2 of you join me on the red carpet and tell me a little bit about your film. I'll have one of you stand on this side of me. Everyone get in real tight so that we look like we're having a good time together here. Rush, please tell me, can I call you Rush?
You can call me Rush, that is my name. So
Lovely. Rush, tell me a little bit about Sneeze of Death.
Oh man, this is not my film, I'm just in it. This is Pete's baby. I think he should tell you more about the film.
All right, we're going to start with Peter.
So yes, it's a short film about a lady, Rush, who really needs to sneeze. And you just got to watch it and see where it goes. It goes to a lot of weird places, so I hope you enjoy it.
Now, that, Rush, first off, challenge to you to play a role of someone who is holding something in that is such an involuntary action. Was it challenging for you? And if so, what was the most challenging part?
Well, the most challenging part was not sneezing during the parts where I wanted to sneeze. I was asking a lot of, from the director about what my motivation was, why I was in this position. It was a very intricate and complicated role, and I'm really glad that I got to. It's ridiculous. You should watch it. Just watch it. It's fun. Yeah.
You heard it here, folks. It's ridiculous, and we all need a little ridiculousness in our lives after the past couple of years. Am I right? Thank you so much for joining me on the red carpet tonight, Peter and Rush. I wish you the best with the not sneezing and also enjoying watching yourself on the screen tonight, watching your work.
Awesome.
Have a great time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you so much. Hello and welcome back. This is the 10th annual Sudden Impulse Film Festival. We are on Roncesvalles at the Review Cinema in Toronto, Canada. Next up on the red carpet with me, I have movie maker Mitch, and his film is called Take the Money and Run. How about you run on up here and tell me all about the money that you took?
We shot in Palm Springs in LA just before COVID and finally got it released here. So this is its first big premiere.
So you waited quite so. What year would that have been? Like, when did you actually shoot?
January of 2020.
January of 2020. When did you start working on it, pen to paper, and tell me a little bit about how long it took afterwards, or if you just took your time because we had a pandemic and you could sit back and do post for 2 years?
I think I wrote it in a week and shot it because I just met all the right individuals in the right time. It was like, let's just go shoot this idea that I have, and that's what we made. So it really didn't take long to make or edit. Just had nowhere else to show it. So finally, we're out in public, and this is where to do it.
That's very cool. Not often that you're able to just round up a bunch of creatives and go to camera right away. Was it presenting any challenges for you, or was it everything that you thought it would be, even though it was kind of a spur of a sudden impulse to make a movie?
It really was a sudden impulse. It was like what you're gonna watch is like a bank robbery, stealing money, a bunch of that. It's about 2 young lovers with nothing better to do. So that's, you'll check it out from there.
That does sound classic. One last question. It's called Take the Money and Run. What sort of finances did you have involved? Was this a bootstrapping kind of venture for you? Did you do any crowdfunding? Did you raise money? Was it out of pocket?
Everything's out of pocket. Everything is out of pocket. It's actually a bootleg of the song by the Steve Miller Band, Take the Money and Run. So it's actually, you'll have to just see it.
We'll have to just see it. There's everything about money and there's everything about running. It feels very classic and very cool that you were able to whip it together. I'm so happy that we now have a venue that we can play it and that you get to watch your film up on the screen tonight. Thank you for joining me on the red carpet, and enjoy watching your material and everybody else's material in the Sudden Impulse Film Festival tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome back to the 10th annual Sudden Impulse Film Festival. I'm Caleigh Le Grand, and I get to bring back to the red carpet Stefan for Helen and Henry, his other film that is a part of this year's festival. Stefan, why don't you come on up with the rest of your crew?
Thanks for having me back.
Thank you for joining again. We'll grab one person on this side of me. Everyone squeeze in like you're enjoying being here. And now this is...
Switch to the left of it.
Yes, please, in the middle.
Here, I'll get on this side.
You're on this side.
Okay.
Stefan, if you can just give us a brief intro, what is this second film that we're talking about of yours?
Sure. So the second film is called Helen and Henry. This was a film we made during the 48-hour film project here in Toronto. So we put it together in 48 hours. It's a cute little comedy, and these are some of my actors here with me today, and my cinematographer.
Lovely. I'm assuming, Courtney, you were cinematographer on this one again?
Yes.
Lovely. And what other roles did we have playing? Were you a writer? Were you on the camera crew side?
I was an actor in the film.
And what was the role that you played?
I played a server at the very end, kind of a little button to the piece, a little comedic note, as is very, typical to Stefan's style. It was super fun.
Perfect. And would you mind introducing yourself with your full name?
Yeah, I'm Diane Oliveira.
Lovely. Thank you, Diana. Very exciting to have you on the carpet. I'm going to bug you to introduce yourself with your full name and your part of the filmmaking.
Hi, I'm Tyler Bignell. I was lucky enough to play the son, the boyfriend of Henry, and it was actually a lovely time. I've never done a 48 before. I've never actually been directed by Stefan here before, so I actually had a great time. It was fun, it was challenging, it was exciting, and it was all done in 48 hours, and I still can't believe it.
Now, you said you played the son or the boyfriend?
Both, actually. Yeah, they're the same guy. It's I don't know. I don't have a better way to explain it. So it was interesting. I think I'm more of the awkward human part of the story is the way I look at it. That's basically the crux of it. I'm there. I'm the guy that's kind of awkward, kind of like, well, I don't know what to do about this, and it's kind of weird because that's definitely not what I'm like as a person. So, but it was fun. It was a different role, and Stefan let me wear a nice blazer, which was fun. And I still can't believe you got it all done in 48 hours. My God.
There you go, folks. There is awkwardness coming to not just the carpet with sons and boyfriends.
Just to be clear, he plays a son and a boyfriend, but not like the mother's boyfriend.
I'm going to leave it as a cliffhanger, and if you want to know what's really happening in this film, come on down to Review Cinema on Roncesvalles in Toronto. Thank you so much, everyone. Enjoy the film festival in there and seeing yourselves on the screen tonight. Thank you. Guys, this is the 10th year for the Sudden Impulse Film Festival. I've been fortunate enough to be with Stefan and doing interviews on the red carpet with all of the creatives and the filmmakers who are coming through for some years now. And I can honestly say that this has been one of the most incredible experiences of my life, to be able to connect with people who, especially over the past 2 years, decided not to sit back in pity or sit back on their heels when they had pushback from other festivals and not finding a place for their materials that they're dropping their blood, sweat, and tears into. There's something very special, very magical about people coming together and moving forward, making what they want, and not letting the world stop them. I feel like I might cry if I keep talking about it, so I think I might leave it there. I think I should sign off on that note. I'm Caleigh Le Grand. We're in Toronto, Ontario, and we are on Roncesvalles at Review Cinema for the 10th annual Sudden Impulse Film Festival. The ambiance is happening. Life is coming back to the city, and we get to watch some incredible stories that are going to be hitting the screen. We'll see you inside.